So as everybody is coming in, you can accept this recording, and we're gonna give people a chance to come in as this is happening. But welcome to those of you who are here so far. I'm going to put something on the screen for you to read. You might have seen it in the waiting room. So this Dalai Lama quote that if every year-old in the world is taught meditation, we would eliminate violence from the world within one generation is particularly appropriate right now. And as we're waiting for people to join, just notice what is going on inside of your head right now in the form of thoughts. No judgment, just notice. Notice if that quote elicited thoughts. And notice how those thoughts made you feel. And all I'm going to ask you to do is feel how you feel. Just feel how you feel, because that's how you're feeling. Letting yourself feel fully how you are feeling right now. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to do anything. Just let yourself feel. And then know that you actually do have a choice after acknowledging how you feel to decide, do I want to continue to feel like this? Or do I want to focus on something different that will change the way that I feel? And if the feelings are supporting you, keep them. If they're not supporting you in what you are present in right now, choose to let them go and refocus. Refocus on something that's happening now. Maybe the sound of my voice. Maybe your breath. In fact, how about if we all focus on our breath? Our breath is powerful, and it's always present. It's always available. So notice now your breath. Noticing it as if you've never noticed it before. And let the breath captivate your full attention. Choosing to allow yourself to focus on the breath remaining present in the present moment with your breath. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth with a sigh, a deep sigh, letting it all go. And again, breathe in fully and exhale with a sigh. Deep sigh, let it all go. Feel the letting go. And in this moment, go to that space, that quiet space deep within that is always present if you connect to it. Connect to it fully. And choose how you want to feel right now in this very moment in that space. Do you want to feel calm? Do you want to feel relaxed? Do you want to feel happy? Do you want to feel frustrated? You decide. Knowing that you have a choice always. So although we have absolutely no control over what happens externally, we have complete control over what happens internally in this space deep within. And we can choose how to respond to any reaction that may come from an external source by first feeling it. Why? Because it's happening. It just wants to be acknowledged. Acknowledge it. Feel it fully. Let it pass. Choose to let it go. Choose to refocus. Any or all of the above, knowing that you do have this choice. Take another deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, let go completely. And then gently open your eyes, allowing the hands to come into prayer position at the heart center. And Jai Bhagwan. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm very excited to have all of you here to give me the opportunity to talk about one of my passions, which is Yoga Nidra in general. I am the Yoga Nidra queen, and specifically Yoga Nidra for kids. So my name is Renu, for those of you who do not know me, and I am the teacher of the kids program. And my lovely assistant, I call her Sparkle Ganga. She is here as well. She is an integral part of the kids program along with me. And so we are here to let you know what we do, have you ask any questions that you have, or say anything you want to say, but we are here to support you in your obvious interest in Yoga Nidra for kids, which excites me. So thank you all for being here. So a little bit of background I was a special education teacher, and I taught severely emotionally handicapped children, most of it which who were psychotic, schizophrenic, or, very, very troubled humans. And I often look back at that time and wish that I knew what I know now, because it would have helped them. So along with my special education degree, my minor was psychology. So when I was approached to create Yoga Nidra for Kids, it was really a no-brainer for me. So right up my alley, and it took me a half a millisecond to say yes. And so here we are. I do want to say that in the beginning, when we were creating the program, our intention was the same for kids as it is for adults. Why do we want to have Yoga Nidra in our lives? Why do we want to have Yoga Nidra in our lives? Because it helps us tremendously. Actually, in my experience, I have not met a person or a situation that it cannot help, ever. Everybody's in. Nobody is out. I used to think that people that could not hear were out, but they're not out, especially with Amrit Yoga Nidra, because we're working through the energy body. You don't really need to hear the words. You're receiving it through the energy body. So really, everybody is in. What we found out was that kids have stress just like adults do. We think that they don't because kids are kids, right? We think that everything is rainbows and butterflies. But that is not true. So their stress may be different than our stress, but stress is still stress. And there is tons of research on stress. You learned it in the immersion, you learned it in the certification, it's everywhere. There are studies upon studies upon studies upon studies. And I used to spend a lot of time on those studies and explaining stress and everything else. And now, with the climate of the world, the way it has been in the past several years, there really is no need to figure out that everybody is under stress. It doesn't matter what your age is. And unfortunately, it's not looking good right now. And just when we thought it was getting a little bit better, not so much. So that could either send us down this road of despair and hopelessness, or we can use what we learned and apply it the same way we apply it to stress, the old-fashioned stress, like not having enough money to pay your rent, or, whatever the kids with not being able to, buy the new pair of Nikes or the latest iPhone. So what we have found is that no matter what age you are, these principles apply the same way, whether it's a tiny, tiny, tiny issue that stresses you out, or whether it is a life-threatening, full-on, major issue that stresses you out. The same principles apply the same way. And what is amazing about Yoga Nidra, specifically Amrit Method Yoga Nidra, is that it is so easy. It is so easy because it uses the biological process of sleep that your body already knows how to do to get you into the place where you have space between you, or the you that you think you are, and whatever is stressing you out. And in that space, all the answers, all the right responses, all the right actions naturally come through you. There's no thinking involved. You don't have to think about what do I need to do in this situation. It comes from that place of stillness. The stillness is where everything comes from. So the sooner that we can teach kids that they have this stillness deep inside, the better it is for them. I mean, imagine if we knew when we were little what we know now. I'm thinking the world would be a different place because all of us would be navigating through it a little bit easier. So the sooner we can find out that we can't control what's happening outside, but we have this place inside and we have a superpower inside. A superpower, it's magic. I call it magic. I know it's science, but to me, it goes beyond science. It's magic. I can't explain how some of these things happen. I just know that they have happened. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. And I've seen lots of things, all of which are amazing. So my passion, my intention is to share it with as many of you as I can, so that you can share it with as many little people or big people as you can. Which brings me to how Yoga Nidra for kids impacts adults. This blew our minds. Never was in our consciousness how much this impacts adults. We thought, yeah, we'll give kids this opportunity to have the same availability to Yoga Nidra as adults. But what we found was that adults with childhood trauma, adults with PTSD, adults who have trouble letting go in adult Yoga Nidra, somehow, magically, before they even know that they let go, they're gone because of the way that it is done. So the process is the same. It's exactly the same. But the way it's done is a little bit different. And this is incredible for any of you who work in the mental health field. And even just to get in touch with the inner child. So from our experience, you know, people say, well, I don't have any interest in teaching Yoga Nidra for kids. But the adults, I got to tell you, I think sometimes the adults love it more than the kids. So how about if we try it? Because what I often say is there are no amount of words for kids or regular Yoga Nidra. There are no amount of words that I could come up with to adequately describe the experience that you have in Yoga Nidra. Have you, right? There's nothing I can say. So let's do it. So what I thought is that because we're in this environment, we'll do it sitting. If it's easily available for you to lie down, you can lie down. But actually, you know what? Let's just do it sitting, because I do want to show you the power of it even sitting. But I do want you to be comfortable. So however it is that you are sitting, make sure that your feet are grounded. Make sure your sits bones are grounded. And allow your spine to be straight. And then let go of any tension that you may have to keep your spine straight. And then go ahead and close your eyes. Just drop into that silent stillness. in a moment, we're going to tighten and tense and squeeze all the muscles in the body. So just tighten and tense the muscles in which it's to the degree in which it's okay with your body right now. Close your eyes if they're not already closed. Make fists with your hands. Inhale and squeeze your fists. Squeeze like you're squeezing a lemon. Squeeze and hold. And now exhale and let go of the fists. And let your hands just rest in your lap. And see if you can feel the tingling in your hands. Maybe in your arms. Now inhale and spread your fingers apart as wide as you can. Even more. Hold your fingers spread apart. Hold and feel. And now exhale. And let your hands relax back in your lap. And see if you can feel the tingling in your hands and your fingers. Be really still so you can feel it. Now lift your right leg. Just lift it up just a little bit off the floor and breathe as you hold it up. Don't let it touch the floor. Keep it up. Keep holding and breathing. Hold and breathe. And now let your foot and leg drop back down to the floor. And feel the tingling in your right foot, in your whole right leg. Now lift your left leg just a little bit up off the floor. Hold it up as you breathe. Don't let it touch the floor. Keep holding it up. Hold and breathe. Hold and breathe. And now drop it back down. And feel the tingling in your left foot. See if you can feel it in your whole left leg. Now inhale and squish up your face. Your whole face tight and squished up. Hold, hold, squish it even tighter. And now let it go and relax. Feel your whole face softening. See if you can feel the tingling in your face. Now take a really big breath in and squeeze and tighten every single muscle in your whole body. Clench your fists, point or flex your feet, hold, tighten, squish your face up, hold, 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 tighten. Now exhale and let it go. Let your whole body relax. Let it relax into the chair. Feel the chair holding you up. Let it hold you up while you relax. Keep your eyes closed and be very still, very quiet. We're going on a magical journey to a very special place deep inside of you. Are you ready? Here we go. Take a big breath in through your nose. Let your belly fill up like a big balloon. And then let the air escape out of your mouth with the sound of ha. Let's do that again. Take a big breath in through your nose. Fill your belly with air. And now let it out of your mouth with the sound of ha. Let's do it one more time. Take a big breath in through your nose. Fill your belly all the way up. And now let it all out with the sound of ha. And be very still, very still, very quiet. Feel safe and comfortable. Feel peace in your whole body, like you're wrapped in a blanket of peace. Now it's time to get out any wiggles or squiggles before I ask you to be still again. Make sure you're really comfortable in the chair. Just moving any way you need to. And then when you're comfortable, be very still. Don't move a muscle. Feel your body sinking down in the chair, kind of like it's melting into the chair. And let all the thoughts in your head melt down too, into a very quiet place, into this very special world, this magical wonderland deep inside of you. Now, as you sit still in the chair, notice your belly moving in and out as you breathe. Notice every time you breathe in, the belly goes out. And every time you breathe out, the belly goes in. Make sure that's happening. You don't have to really do anything. Just notice how the belly goes in and out. Now we are going to inhale and exhale to a count of 4. Say inside your head, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Continue on your own. Make the breath easy. You don't have to try too hard. Just stay with the count. And if you lose count, just start over. Notice yourself becoming more relaxed and peaceful. Now stop counting. Just breathe normally. Notice how quiet and soft the breath is. Let go and melt into that feeling. Be still, really still, feeling very calm and peaceful. And now imagine with your eyes closed, that you're lying in a grassy field full of butterflies, colorful butterflies flying all around you. One of the butterflies lands on your right foot. Feel it as it tickles your right foot and then flies away. Another one lands on your left foot. Feel it as it tickles your left foot and then it flies away. Two butterflies land on your knees at the same time. Feel them softly tickling your knees and watch as they fly away. Another beautiful butterfly lands right on your tummy. Feel its wings flutter on your tummy, and then it flies away. Two more butterflies land in the palms of both hands. You can feel their wings fluttering in your palms, and then they fly away. Another butterfly gently lands on your right shoulder. Feel it as it tickles your right shoulder, and then it flies over to your left shoulder, tickling the left shoulder, and then flies away. The most beautiful butterfly lands gently on your forehead, right between your eyebrows. Stay really still so it doesn't fly away. Feel the soft butterfly kisses on your forehead. Know that you are loved. Butterfly kisses make you feel safe and loved. Now it's time for the butterfly to fly away, but you will always remember how lucky you are to get butterfly kisses. You are very special. That is why these butterflies came to visit you. They want you to know how special you are. Now be still and rest here, knowing how special you are. Be very still so you can feel it. Now be empty, like a big blue sky. Pretend you are the sky. And notice that as the sky, you can watch all the clouds come and go. And in this special place, you can watch everything come and go. Now let someone who loves you come visit in the sky with you and feel them with you now. They have a special secret message for you. Let them whisper it in your ear. Know that they love you. Know that you are always loved. Keep your eyes closed and begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, waking up your body. Let your body move however it wants to right now. Keep your eyes closed and see if you can remember this secret message that was whispered in your ear. Now put your right hand on your heart. You can put your left hand on top of the right one if you want. And feel how quiet your heartbeat is. Feel peace in your heart. Feel love in your heart. And know this special place is always here anytime you want to come to it. And now you may open your eyes. So I'm going to open up discussion for you guys, just to say whatever you want to say about that experience, to ask whatever you want to ask about that or anything else. And if you would like to do that, just raise your hand and I will call on you and you can unmute yourself and we can all hear you. And if your video isn't on and you want it to put it on, put it on. If you don't want to put it on, I totally understand. You can leave it off. Nobody has anything they want to ask or share? All right, I will do the asking. So by a show of hands, how many of you were able to get into a deep experience in that short amount of time? Yeah, everybody. So thank you, Vicki. So it's so easy. So that was probably, I don't know, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. So that being said, you all are familiar with Yoga Nidra, and because of that, we can close our eyes and we're there. We don't even need anything, right? But imagine for kids, the access for them to get to this place deep inside easily and to know that it's always there is key. This is the big takeaway. It's like, it doesn't matter if you had a good mother or a bad mother, a good teacher or a bad teacher, friends or bullies, poverty or wealth, whatever it is, it doesn't matter your situation. When you know that you have a place to go, always, it is not reliant on anything external. So would I love everybody to have the best mother in the world? Absolutely. And do I want everybody to have that? Yes, in addition to what we always have within ourselves. But if you don't know you have it, you can't access it. So then you continue to go to the external. So maybe one sec. So the external, it looks like that is helping you or not helping you or whatever it looks like, but that is not true. That is just the opportunity to see what happens inside and then know, oh, hey, I get to control that, what happens inside, because I can't control anything else. What's your question, Mimi?
So I have the first kids that come to my mind to share this with are my grandkids. They know about Mumu's Yoga Ninja. And so I'm excited to share with them first. And they are a variety of ages. So they're 2, 4, 9, and 18. So
wow, I love that. Lucky you.
Yeah. So what you just shared with us, I can imagine the 18 and the 9-year-old could get into that. How do we tailor, how do we get the itty bitties?
Yeah.
Or like the 9-year-old who is really, kinetic to simmer down enough?
Yeah. So with the beauty of the kids program that is different from the certification that is that in the certification, you learn how to facilitate Yoga Nidra one way to any age, anybody. Well, anybody from teenagers up. And that being said, people do use that, the adult Yoga Nidra cards on kids before the kids, we had kids cards. Of course, people did. But the beauty of the kids cards is that you will learn how to facilitate Yoga Nidra for every single age, which is why the program is so involved because instead of learning it one way, you're learning it 5 ways. Yeah. It's amazing. It is truly amazing because, so I'm a grandmother too. It's my, it's my joy, my absolute joy. And they sometimes he's 6.5. He doesn't call it yoga ninja, but he has his little ways of, describing what it is. But what is wonderful about being that close with the person that you're facilitating is that you can really just go with it because you know them. So like, when we go through like 61 points in the body. So today, the energy body card was the butterflies, right? That's how we went through the body. Well, my grandson is into like spiders. So for anybody else, if I told them a spider is on your right shoulder, they'd be freaking out, but he likes that. So you can customize it to however you want. You can, and you bring up a good point because you do have 9-year-olds that are way more mature than the 19-year-olds, and you have 19-year-olds that are, so you will learn about how to navigate through that in the program. Many different ways, to all different populations. And even the teenagers. So like, you want to the best, the best way that you can, you want to focus it on the different age groups, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just can't do that. But know that you can always, like the adult or the teenager can always do the yoga nidra that's meant for an 8-year-old. It's not a problem. But the 5-year-old cannot do the one for preteens. No. Thank you for that question. Hopefully I answered it. All you had to do, you had me at grandmother. That's my sweet spot. I often joke in the program that I kind of designed the program just so I could talk about my grandkids. So got you there. But I do like to hear about yours as well. Anybody else? So let me just look at my notes quickly to make sure I went over all the points that I wanted to for you.
And when you're ready, Renu, Sharon had a question.
Go, Sharon. Can't hear you. I don't know if your volume is down or off.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, so with the kids yoga nidra, you don't use intentions like you do with adults because you don't get them in a really super deep state or anything.
You do use intention.
Okay.
Yeah. So I typically don't with really young kids, but after a certain age, absolutely, it's very powerful, just like it is for us. Yeah. And you can throw in an affirmation anywhere. Like I actually just did it with my grandson the other night because he's having a little difficulty listening. And so at some point in the yoga nidra, I just said, listening comes easy. So it wasn't like I didn't formally do the whole thing. I just threw it in there. Yeah. And by the way, they do go deep. They get there faster and they come out faster. But we are bringing them there, which is pretty amazing too. Anybody else?
Can I add to that, Renu?
Please.
So I don't know how up anyone was in this particular iteration, but the way that we did, it was the sky, right? Am I remembering right? I went pretty deep. We went into the sky and then someone whispered something in your ear in the sky is another way to access, because the kids cards and the way they're designed for the different age groups, there's different ways to access it. So it might not sound or feel or look like the way we do intentions for adults, but it gets to the same place. And as Renu mentioned, after I've started working with these cards, I often will use this rather than an adult intention, even for adults, because it reaches it gets there.
Thank you for sharing that. So Sharon, to your point, what she just said was the intention. That secret message is the intention. It just came from a place inside of them, like using a spontaneous intention in the adult yoga nidra course. It's something that arises from the stillness within. So that is powerful because that's where it's coming from. It's not coming from out here. So rather than saying, trying to help them figure out what secret message they'd want to hear from the beginning, we're just letting it come up organically at the end. Thank you, Ganga. Anybody else? So I hope to see all of you soon, like in 2.5 weeks, for the program, because unfortunately, now more than ever, people need this. People of all ages, but especially the kids. I mean, I say that I especially everybody. It's just, it's very challenging now. But again, we can go down, the dark way because it's so challenging, or we can use the teachings that we know to be true, which is in acceptance of what is, you can be with what is easier than from resistance of what is. So I'm pretty sure that everyone here is in 100% agreement that we do not like some of the things that are as they are right now. I don't know anybody that likes some of these things, right? But we can't change those things. We can do what we can do to have those things change, but we cannot change them. But we can have a different relationship, the relationship that we choose to have to those things. So it's kind of like the little exercise I had you all do in the very beginning. We think that just because something is the way that it is, we have to be a certain way with it. Or just because a thought pops up in our head, we have to listen to it, believe it, do something about it, and we don't have to. We have control. So when I said, if the thought is supporting you, keep it, great. But if this thought is not supporting you, you can do something about it. You don't have to keep it just because it popped up. So it's, what can I do to help myself in the situation that I'm in right now? So right now, we're all engaged with each other. I see these beautiful faces and these boxes on a screen in front of me, and you're listening to me, and I'm looking at you and listening to some of you, and we're engaged. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the external world, but we're not thinking about it right now. We're here. We're here with this. So why am I going to let that affect this? No, I want to be with this because this is where I am. Same way as when I'm taking my algebra test that I'm stressed out about because I'm not that great at algebra. Same way as, when I'm having dinner with my grandchildren and I want to enjoy that time with them, I'm going to be fully present with what I'm doing while I'm doing it because that's what I'm doing. Why am I going to let all the rest of the stuff affect me? So I'm going to be 65, okay? So I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So I was 45 when I started learning about this. But what if I learned it at 14? What if I learned it at 4? So that is my intention. That is my passion. That is my reason for being here with you today, is that apparently you all are also interested in sharing this with kids. Hopefully you're already sharing it with adults. And even if you're not sharing it, this is what I want to also, to Mimi's question, sometimes we think that we don't want to do these things because we're not teaching formally in a class. We're not, like, some people don't want to take the yoga teacher training because they don't want to be a yoga teacher trainer, a yoga teacher. That was me, by the way, 20 years ago. I had no interest in being a yoga teacher, none. But when I was told that it had nothing to do with that, then the rest is history. Now look at me. Not only did I teach yoga for all those years and still do, I'm teaching teachers how to do all of this too. But if I bought into my thought that I didn't want to be a yoga teacher, I would have never, ever known any of this. So for me, this program is more geared towards people who have kids in their lives. It's not like to add another thing to your yoga studio, if you have one, or your yoga practice, whatever, for as a business side. Great if you do, absolutely if you do. But my main audience is people that are around kids, parents, grandparents, caregivers. We have therapists now working, using Yoga Nidra with kids in their therapy. Doctors, dentists, because it works everywhere. Every chiropractors, acupuncturists. The list goes on and on and on. So you will learn a little bit about how to bring it into schools or into classes and all that. But mainly it's geared towards whoever the children are in your life. And the little people and the big people, because we all have that little person in us. And I'm telling you, it's incredible what happens when you touch that place. Whether that place was painful or not, it could be, you could have had the best childhood in the world, and it brings you back to it. And it's incredibly amazing. Or you could have had a traumatic childhood. It brings you back to it, but you're in a safe space where you can rewrite it. You can detach from it. You can move on from it. You don't have to be stuck in it. Anybody else? And plus it's fun. We just have fun. Because Ganga and I love to have fun and be silly and be childlike. And it is a little bit different the way that the program is. I'll just tell you a little bit about that. So in the programs that you have taken, because they are Yoga Alliance regulated, there's a certain curriculum that has to be met in a certain way, in certain hours and this and that. And it's very, much the way that it has to be. In the kids program, we don't have that. It's very spontaneous. So yes, I have a manual with amazing stuff in it. And I have, all kinds of things planned, but it's very spontaneous, much like kids are. Because I can tell you all I want to tell you in a curriculum, and then you get with the kids in front of you and it's a whole different story. Right. So we just have fun. We're very spontaneous and go with the flow and teach you that that's okay, because it is okay. Am I forgetting anything, Mama? Did you have something else, Mimi?
I did. Thank you.
Yeah.
So are you offering Yoga Nidra for kids / inner child in person and virtual? And if it's virtual for the littles, I'm curious, how does that work? How does that feel?
So in your experience right now, how does it feel for you when you're virtual or when you're in person?
Same but different. Yeah.
It's pretty much the same. It is different in the fact that there's obviously nothing physical. So where like I've had kids in person, I've had to have them in my lap, okay, or I've had to lie down next to them, or you can't do that. So that is different. But as far as the impact and the way that you're going to do it, it's the same. Same with adults. I mean, listen, I am a hugger, I'm a toucher, a feeler. I use all kinds of stuff, lavender oil, and I have all these accoutrements and all this fun stuff that I'm like, wait, what? I have to do it online. I can't do that. I was like devastated. But you know what? It works. It really does. So you don't need all those things. It's nice, but you don't need it. And it shows us we can adapt. Kids are very resilient. Thank God that they're so resilient. Okay, way more than we are. We have some stuff to learn from them. So it's just what you said. It's the same but different, but it still works, if that's the question. And there's way more verbal cues. Like I work with a little girl that she's just very fidgety, so I have to keep putting in there because I can't touch her. I have to keep putting in there. Okay, be still. And sometimes, Mimi, I don't care if they're fidgeting. If they're fidgeting, they're fidgeting. If their eyes are open, their eyes are open. It's all getting in there, so meet them where they are. It's all fine. Anybody else? Jody.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Now I can.
Okay, so I had a question about the training. Do we need to have access to young children to practice on during the training? My kids are a lot older and out of college, and we just moved during COVID, and I just haven't, this is something I want to offer, but I just haven't been able to find the opportunities since moving. So
Yeah, no, great question. The short answer is no.
okay.
Obviously, if you had anybody to practice with, that's an added bonus, but it's not a necessity. You don't have to. In fact, it's so funny. I was talking to Ganga the other day. So this started, the first time we did it was in 2019. It was in person at the Institute, and then 2020 happened. And we've done it, I don't know, like 8 times, 9 times, I don't know, this way from 2020 to now. And so my grandson was, usually I would have him come and just talk about, stuff so that you guys could see something from a child, and then one of the students had an amazing daughter who was way more mature than my grandson, and we had her come too. But we never actually did anything with them. So I was telling Ganga the other day, maybe we'll have them do that this time. So at least you guys can see, you can see it in action, because it is quite different than when we do it. I don't know if any of you go on the Amrit YouTube page, but there's a couple of Yoga Nidra for Kids recordings on there. They were done during the Advanced Yoga Nidra certification and to adults. So the adults, the first time we do a temper tantrum, they crack up. So you hear it. So like I have to pause, wait for everybody to stop laughing. I'm laughing. It's like different when we're doing it for adults, or our response time is different. That's the biggest thing. So when I say to you guys, even in a very short one, when I say, open your eyes, you don't want to open your eyes. Their eyes are open. Or sit up, they're up, ready to go. And we're like, still like trying to get up. So that's the difference, because you don't have the real time and the real not to say that it doesn't come back. It doesn't, you wouldn't be able to address it when you actually did have somebody in front of you, but it's not a necessity. You're welcome.
Can I add something quick to that also?
Yes.
So Raina alluded to it, the 5 different ways, but so this training is very hands-on. You get the chance to facilitate a lot and get a lot of feedback on it within the group, which is both so that way you don't really need another, you need another human nearby during the training itself. And also just it's a way that it's quite different than the other trainings where there's this one leans into much more time with the actual facilitation because each way is quite different from how we're trained to do it for adults. So it's fun.
Thank you for sharing that. It is fun. I kind of miss it. We haven't done it in a long time. That's why I miss it. Anybody else have anything they want to share, say, ask? So, for those of you who are here, we're offering a 10% discount for the program that's in 2.5 weeks. You'll get an email to give you the discount code. And I hope to see each and every one of you. And unless there is anything else that you want to know or ask, I think we are, feels complete. Yeah. Becky. Hi. Did you want to say something?
I'm moving, so I was packing. Everything was all over the place. But I'm a piano teacher, and I notice it's very sad. There's so many kids have anxiety, and I've never seen that. I'm 62, so I've been a piano teacher for like 42 years, and it's unbelievable the difference, the shift. So many kids really need this now.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It's just another testament to the whole thing. I mean, I've heard this across the board from no matter what anybody does, all the teachers, all the parents. So let me address that for a second. Life has challenges, okay? And in that, people suffer from anxiety, from depression, from insomnia, from all the things, right? What's happening recently has exacerbated that. So if you're already suffering a little bit or a lot of it, now you're sometimes way over the edge. And this is why, there's so much teen suicide. The mental health issues are just, it's too much. So again, to know that you have something, okay, it is not going to take away all the stuff, but to know that you have something that can help on the level that it helps is just so not only comforting, it's so important. It's like crucial to have. So I wish that I could say, this will make everything go away. And I can't say that. I can say that it will make it go away for a little bit so that you can have some breathing room from it. I can say that. Because when we're in Yoga Nidra, do we know anything about anything? Nada. I mean, when we're in it, right? So I can say that. And I wish I could say when you come out that all the stuff is going to be gone. I can't say that. But I can say that because you know that when you're in that deep space where you know nada and nothing is affecting you, if you can do it there, If you can experience there, I'll change it from doing it to experiencing it. If you can experience it there, you can experience it here too. It's harder, it's more challenging, but you can. And we do not have to let all the external stuff or the internal thoughts tell us that we can't. That's the takeaway. So the kids that are, have been living in violence in the United States, okay, forget about what's going on now in the world, but the kids that are living in inner cities in violence, I wish I could take them home with me. I can't. And I can't make that violence go away, but I can help them to help themselves be with the facts that is in their environment, but they can remove themselves from it, have some respite from it in this place inside of them. So I could talk about this for probably days, years, and lifetimes. But like I said, I started in the beginning, we were like stress and kids, and now nobody has to say anything about that. I don't have to convince anybody that kids are under stress anymore. It's just like years ago, like remember like maybe 20 years ago, 25 years ago, yoga caught on like wildfire here in the West. It was the biggest thing since sliced bread, right? Yoga that's thousands and thousands of years old all of a sudden became popular. And this is what's happening with meditation. So maybe 10 years ago, it's meditation that's now all the rage. Meditation's on the cover of Time magazine. Meditation is Madonna's doing it now, the big, whatever. So now before, where we had to educate people on the benefits of meditation, no need anymore. It cut out like tons of curriculum. Don't need to do it. Everybody knows the benefits of it. Now it's just a matter of how do you do it? Let's do it. Let's teach kids how to do it. And that is where I'm going to end. So such a pleasure now to see all of your faces. And again, I hope to see you in a couple of weeks. And if not in a couple of weeks, whenever the next one is. And you can always reach out to me if you have any more questions. Actually, Ganga, put my email address in the chat box because you don't have my email address. But if you have a question, you can reach out to me. And then have a beautiful rest of your day. And I'm going to leave you with this. Remember, whether you are doing this or not doing this, remember that kids are watching you. So the best way to teach is to be how you want them to be. So if they see us getting all bent out of shape or all upset or all this or all that, guess what? That's what they're learning. So use everything that you know and practice that yourself. All right, my dears. Chai Bhagwan.
Chai Bhagwan, thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.